Hey, folks, welcome to the Captain's Log this Monday evening, January 27th. It's my twin daughter's birthday today. I want to wish them happy birthday. And let's get into it tonight. The Captain's Log. First thing I want to ask or talk about is most people think that power comes from surviving the storms. But the real power shows up the moment you realize the ship has already answered you. And there's an energy available to you right now that most people never touch because it only appears when you stop waiting and you start choosing a heading. So, have you ever noticed how a room feels different when someone walks in who knows exactly who they are and where they're going? Presence. They have presence. And somewhere between hesitation and decision, the ship begins to move. And tonight, that's where we're going. This is not a log about weathering storms. This is a log about the moment you take the helm and you feel the sea answer back. And there comes a moment when you stop asking life what it intends to do with you, and you start noticing how quickly it responds when you decide yourself what you're going to do. And so, tonight's Captain's Log, the moment the ship answers you. And there's a current that's available to all of us right now. Not someday, not after conditions improve, but right now. And most people never feel it because they're waiting for permission, or they're waiting for reassurance, or for the sea to calm before they move. But this current doesn't appear when you hesitate. It appears when you choose. It's one of those great paradoxes of life that always seem to hold us up when we don't want to be held up. And so it's the idea of the current to move forward doesn't appear until you make a choice. And tonight's log isn't about surviving anything. Got that? It's not about surviving. It's about recognizing the moment the ship begins to answer you. And there comes a point, it's kind of quiet. It's definitely unmistakable when you realize that you're no longer asking life where to go. You're setting a heading. The wind hasn't changed any. The sea is still the sea, but something inside you has locked into alignment. Have you ever felt this? Are you feeling it now? Do you need to feel that in the situations you're in? Something inside you has locked into alignment. Doesn't always come easy. But your hands are steady, they're on the wheel. And this is what people misunderstand about strength, me included, all of us. Strength is not force, it's coherence. It's the moment your inner compass stops spinning and starts pointing cleanly forward. Adventure doesn't begin with danger, it begins with decision. Got that? Adventure doesn't begin with danger, it begins with the decision to go. And so the world is full of motion, it's full of noise, there's reaction. But voyaging requires something else entirely of us. It requires presence. We need to be there in the moment. Not performative presence, not bravado, I'm putting on a great front, but the kind that fills a room because nothing inside you is arguing anymore. It's not that conflict doesn't exist. It's not that all kinds of things, grief, whatever it might be, doesn't exist. It's that you don't allow it to argue with you anymore. And when you stand fully inside yourself, whoever you are, wherever you are, when you stand fully inside yourself, instead of running from yourself or trying to find things to patch yourself or making motion so you don't have to face self in the quiet, when you stand there fully inside yourself, you don't need to announce it. Your energy does the talking. The pace changes. Your voice lands differently. People feel it before they can name it. Here's the secret most people never discover. You don't reclaim your ground by fighting outward. You reclaim it by inhabiting your own interior territory without retreat. Now, none of the things we're fighting are outside the people, the situations. We're fighting internally. Remember that prayer of Reuben Fasthorse that he offered up, that somebody gave him a long time ago. And deep into the prayer, it says, it's a prayer to the Great Spirit, and help me fight my greatest enemy, myself. You reclaim it by inhabiting your own interior territory without retreat. That's where buoyancy lives, not in optimism. We can be optimists, but we don't use optimism. We don't use denial, but in personal, internal momentum. And this is the energy of a ship that's underway. You stop explaining your direction to people who aren't sailing with you. You stop compressing yourself to make others comfortable. You stop waiting for validation to move forward. And many of us, myself included, we get stuck in that muck, that mud that keeps us from doing what needs to be done internally. How many of you are in situations out there tonight where what you're in, if you stopped for 2 seconds and thought about it, you'd realize, I'm doing this because it feels good, or I'm doing this because I'm maintaining motion, because if I don't, I will have to stop and look at myself and think and reclaim that territory inside. So many times we're so stuck in doing the things that cover up our pain or our grief or our angst or our worry, concern, grief, whatever it might be, that we can't stop the movement externally. That's what we use. I got to go do this. I got to go work. I got to go drive here. Some of it's obligatory, things we have to do. Then it's I got to do that. I got to shop. I have to go see that person. I have to forge a new relationship. I have to do this for my family. I have to do this so I look good at work, whatever it might be. You got to stop explaining your direction to people who aren't sailing with you. It's like when we talked about the crowd loves to tell us, I know what you should be doing now. But they can do that because they don't have to live in our consequences. You got to stop living your life but what you think other people are going to think. You stop compressing yourself inwardly to make other people comfortable. You got to open that up. And you stop waiting for validation to move forward. Not because you've hardened, but because you've clarified. Don't mistake motion and movement for clarification. It's not. Sometimes motion and movement, when we need to internalize something and mull it over and think about it, consider it, rectify it, apply truth and honesty and wisdom. We do those things. If when we avoid them, it's because we're avoiding clarity. And maybe we know in our heads already, if I do that, I'm going to be expected to act on the clarity that I receive. That's when you stop and you think and you apply truth and you apply honesty so you can let wisdom in the room. And clarity is exhilarating. You ever get it? You ever have those moments where you go, oh, holy shit, I know what I'm supposed to be doing and how I'm supposed to be acting. Or I know what I've done that I've got to rectify. I've got to come to accounting with myself. Clarity is exhilarating. It sharpens the horizon that you're heading toward. It might change the horizon. You need to go that way. It invites motion. It reminds you that forward is not something granted to you by circumstance. It's something you claim. So tonight, consider this your invitation. If you've been feeling the quiet hum beneath your feet, if you've sensed that there's more power available to you than you've been using, if you felt the ship subtly answering when you lean into the helm, that's not imagination. That's alignment. Stop. Stop. Stop acting outwardly to avoid alignment inwardly. And if you're consciously doing that, recognize it. You're not behind. You're not circling. You're not waiting to begin again. You're already underway. And life ain't getting any shorter every day. So the compass is steady. The heading is all yours. And the horizon, unchanged as it may look, will always answer to inner motion that is rectified and applied and gotten clarity by applying truth, honesty, and wisdom. So hold the helm. The sea knows when a captain has chosen their course. So the word's given on that. I have some affirmations for us. I move forward with the horizon. With intention. Where did I get horizon? I move forward with intention, not urgency. God, each one of these I could stop on and talk an hour on them. Are you moving with urgency rather than intention? Urgency, I have to do this to plug the hole. I have to do this to fill the gap. I have to do this to assuage the grief. I have to do this so I don't have to face that. I move forward with intention, not urgency. My presence is grounded. It's clear and it's unmistakable. Are you present? And sometimes you can't be present if you're suppressing the clarity. Stop. Be still and let the clarity come. I claim my inner territory fully and without apology. That does not mean I claim whatever direction I choose. That's postmodern mumbo jumbo. You claim the inner territory fully and without apology because you've taken the time to let reality bring you clarity. And momentum follows your decision that comes from that. Benediction. May your stride be sure. We should almost have toasting glasses. May your stride be true and sure. May your stride be sure. Your direction unmistakable. And your energy buoyant with purpose. And may the horizon rise to meet you. So sail on and stay the course. All right. We're going to enter the captain's cabin, folks. But first, I've got to go over to Instagram and tell you all. Sean LVX, I see you over there. Good to see you, brother. Brilliant Strokes is there. Aaron is there. Thank you for being here. But this is where we shut off the Instagram. But before you go, I'm going to give you guys a link. Well, this is the link to call into the studio. What I want to give you is the link to get into the show and the chat room, so you can be there. Let me pull it up for you before I let you go, Instagram. My friends on Instagram. Let's find you. Going here. Wow, I got to click through 10 things here to get there. Here's the link. Go over to this link over on YouTube, and you can join our live chat room. And you can even call into the show if you want, but I'll post a link for the show over there. So there you go, folks. Copy that link, paste it into your browser, and come on over and join us. But for now, see ya, Instagram. Thanks for being here. All right, guys. It's just us now. And I'm going to paste the link to the studio because I know you're all clamoring to get in here and have a conversation. Let's see. Invite. Copy. I'm going to paste it in here. There you go. That is where you call to get into the show.